I'm going to introduce you to someone that's going to blow your mind. Her voice will, I can only describe it as heavenly. When she burst onto the scene, we couldn't believe what we were hearing. It was a voice like from another planet or something. She made her mark here, and then she conquered Europe, where she has lived for most of her life. I'm so fortunate to have lived in a world of great voices, but believe me, this voice is at the top of the heap of great voices.
Wow. Wow. She just poured her entire soul out. It's very rare to see artists that give so much of themselves on the stage. Like, not just for the performance, not just vocally, not just doing things technically correctly, but also giving their hearts and souls into what they're expressing. It's a totally different ballgame then. It's no longer, oh, you know, this note is this and this note is that. It's like they're singing it from the most deep place in their bodies, and you can just feel that from Lara in this case. I am so amazed.
I love how she's able to make her voice just break just enough to show the emotion. She doesn't lose control, but there is just enough to know that there's heartbreak in the character that is singing the song. Her vocal control is just, oh, it gives me chills. I have literal chills right now. I have such incredibly deep respect for her. I literally could cry. She just resonates so much with my heart to present music and artistry in the same way.
Did you see as she did that final belt, she moved down into her body? Oh my God, such good physical grounding. Oh my sweet baby Jesus, this is a masterclass. This is such good storytelling. Okay. You're mentally sick because of all of these things, because of another person. Like, just the physicality that she used, some of the expressions that she used, it's almost like she's imploring you to understand, and at the exact same time, she's losing it and you can't quite trust her because she's absolutely losing it. And that's just so beautifully delivered by this. This is incredible. The speech quality, the changes in her phrasing from long, beautiful, melodic, connected phrases into speech-like conversational phrases, the differences in the dynamic choices that she makes. This is fantastic singing.
That song destroyed me. So I could say all kinds of things about her amazing vocal technique and how she had a growls or a fry or breath or amazing mixed notes. She does all of this. But in the end, it comes down to she's practiced all of those things, I'm sure, to get better at singing. But I don't think she considers it for an instance while she's on stage. I imagine the only thing she's trying to do is channel that emotion so that she can let it pour through, but also not let it completely overtake the voice. It is one of the finest lines I've ever seen a performer walk, where she's able to give so much emotion without just completely losing it. And that made me want to completely lose it. So much respect for her right now.
Very nice acknowledgement of the piano player there too. I have goosebumps. Goosebumps. It's one thing to belt, okay? It's one thing to belt, which is generally a higher laryngeal position, a higher breath pressure, longer vocal fold adduction activity, adduction meaning closed, that kind of activity. It's one thing to be able to belt. It is another thing to be able to have such mastery of that belt that you navigate the amount of space and weight and intensity and distortion at the same time. Listening to her blows my mind. It's like, how can one human navigate all of these things? And I could bang on about other stuff such as articulation choices, color changes, but how she chose to belt that at the end there. We have sustains, we have different textures, we have emotional intensity and the movement through that emotional journey from her dynamic choices, even as she goes into that first belt. lost it at how she balanced that. I can't. I can't.
I guess I could say that this performance was pure heaven, and the commitment and the willingness to surgically and brutally destroy herself on stage, and with technique and mastery. I don't think I've ever witnessed these things combined together in one performance. I'm kind of flabbergasted, to be honest, because this was riveting. It was captivating and moving like no other song I've ever heard before. This is a masterclass and should be taught in art schools of how to perform and put your whole heart and body and mind into a performance. This performance, ladies and gentlemen, was pure perfection.
صرت لحمة مفرومة. Burger patty. Just know that every single thing she's doing there, every nuance, every note, every way she's using it, every expression on her face, every expression in her voice, every breath of air she puts out there, every decision she's making on stage is predetermined. She's decided all of these things because she's created this not just as a song, but she's created it as a performance, and she's perfected it. And once she's perfected it, she's presenting it, and she's doing it that way because she wants you to close your eyes and imagine exactly the situation that she had created. No more, no less. Just exactly that situation that she had imagined. She imagines it with music. She imagines it with voice and song. She imagines it with expression. She imagines it entirely. And then her superpower, she brings it to reality. And she's able to pass it on to you. And then you're able to take that and live that entire experience. Listen to this song, 3-4 minute song, and you can be completely catapulted into a world entirely designed from the ground up by Lara Fabian. This woman is beyond being a virtuoso. She's beyond being one of the greatest singers on earth. She's beyond all of that. She's a genius. If you gave her an IQ test, she's probably marking in the high 140s, 150s, if not more. She's an absolute genius. And her emotional intelligence is probably all the way up there as well for her to be able to do this. And the more I see Lara Fabian, the more I see the connection between the artist of Lara Fabian and of Dimash. It's phenomenal. It's next level. It's unattainable. It's unachievable. It's unique. It's 1 in 10 billion. It's her. And no one else can occupy the space that she's in. No matter what you do, because you've got to have the blessing of the gods to be able to do this vocally. But you also must have hours and hours of practice and dedication to harness the potential of the gift that you've been given. And that takes a lot of heart, a lot of dedication and commitment. But then the third factor that wraps it all up is her intellect that tells her exactly how to use this honed blessing, right? And that's exactly what she does. She was born on this planet to do this, and she should not ever be doing anything else.
No hesitation, this is the greatest female singer on earth. It's very hard for you to think otherwise. There are incredible, amazing talents out there, but if you wanted to describe the complete package or set the golden standard of what a singer-performer is, it's her. It's her, bar none. Like, she is the greatest female singer on earth, period.